Whoa!
The following video comes from James Fodder, who recently bought a doll from a secondhand store. Apparently the doll is worth a lot more than what the store was selling it for. For this reason, James bought the doll. However, ever since bringing it home, strange things have been happening, from hearing strange noises at night and to seeing doors open and close on their own. James suspects that the doll might be responsible for the unusual activity in the house, and so he decides to record the doll in front of a camera inside an empty room. He hopes to capture footage of something that would prove it's haunted. Initially, nothing odd is captured in the first few days of recording, but one night, something very strange happens. Now the camera he uses is programmed to move whenever it picks up movement. So if something moves, it will point to that object. We could see it doing this in the footage, but strangely, the camera pans around the room as though it's picking up movement from somewhere. This is what was captured. Could it be that the camera is detecting an unseen presence, or is it just not functioning properly? Although it is likely that there's a problem with the camera. Something really creepy happens 2 nights later inside the room, which has made him think that the camera was actually picking up something. James is away from home. When the following happens, he writes, "Just wow, I've been leaving the closets open in case anyone thinks I'm hiding inside. I don't even know what to say." This is what was captured. Out of James' bathroom comes out what appears to be a dark, shapeless figure. It seems to dart across the floor before disappearing from sight. James believes that this may have been the apparition that was being picked up earlier by the camera. He also thinks that this mysterious figure might be attached to the doll. Ever since then, he's been filming more at night. Little does he know that he would eventually capture something more terrifying than this. James is sleeping in his room upstairs when the following happens. All of a sudden, the doll moves on his own. It appears to move for just a few seconds before abruptly stopping. Feeling very unsettled, James posts the footage online to see if anyone could explain this video. It's not sure if he'll continue to hold on to his doll given what occurred, but it might be best if he keeps it locked up inside his room, as an occurrence like this definitely warrants it. As always, what are your thoughts on this? Had something paranormal occurred, or had something else happened? Jerry Bruce is a father who loves spending time with his children. If you hop over to his channel, you'll find that most of his videos have a wholesome quality to them. However, out of all the videos on there, 2 in particular stand out from the rest. These 2 videos are different, and in these show something that doesn't fit with the family-friendly content of this channel. If anything, they seem to have come from a horror movie, one that is based on a family terrorized by paranormal activity. As it turns out though, that's exactly the case here. Jerry has been encountering strange occurrences in his home that seem to be paranormal in nature. On May 26 of 2009, he is suddenly woken up by a strange noise inside his living room. He immediately grabs his phone and begins to record. Jerry writes, "I have never seen anything like this. My wife and I were awakened by the sound of a door closing. This video is all I got before me and my family left the house. This is what was caught."
Everybody can see this, and I've done it.
Strangely, the handle on the other side of the door is being turned as though someone inside were doing this. But as shown on video, no one is in there. An encounter like this would definitely spook anyone. But then again, there are some who might write this off as being caused by a draft entering the handle's lock. Although it isn't sure if that's the case. In the second video that seemingly dispels this notion, on July 11th of 2009, Jerry's recording his son when all of a sudden something really creepy happens. Take a look.
Whoa!
The same closet from the first video can be seen opening on its own. Then seconds later, the toy flips over by itself. It almost seems like whatever had been inside had tripped over this toy in its attempt to get to the child. It is immediately then that he grabs his son and rushes out of the living room at once. Viewers believe that he might be dealing with something paranormal. But as with most videos, it's hard to be sure if that's so. Could it be that a supernatural presence resides in Jerry's closet, or is there something else going on here? You be the judge. An anonymous individual named S had broken into a house that is said to be haunted. The residents of the place no longer live on the property, as apparently they had gone missing. The husband and wife who lived there had mysteriously disappeared. No one knows what happened to the couple, but it's rumored that something terrible occurred. It was after their disappearance, however, that a family member shared surveillance footage from inside the couple's house. This footage was taken from the couple's security cameras, and it shows things that occurred before they went missing. Overall though, the footage is pretty creepy. Take a look at these clips and see what you think. Although pretty creepy, it wasn't scary enough to deter someone from breaking inside. An anonymous individual named S had seen the footage and decided to check out the property for himself. Little did he know, this was a bad idea. He breaks into the property by entering through a window on the second floor. He goes in and immediately feels uneasy. This is what he caught. It was only after a mysterious knocking had stopped that the intruder looked to the side and saw what appeared to be a shadowy figure peeping from down the hall. It seems to be observing him before creeping away from sight. Not sure if he was just seeing things, he walks over to where the figure was seen but eerily finds nothing there. Now, it wasn't until posting this video that viewers had noticed something odd about the figure. After being spotted by the intruder, it moves in such a way that seems very unnatural. It almost appears to be floating, or even sliding away from view. Just like the surveillance footage from earlier, viewers find this video baffling. But there has to yet be more footage posted. Until then, we'll have to base our judgment on the evidence currently in hand. Doubtless, this video is pretty spooky. This next video comes from Jack Steffens, who spent the night at a hotel considered to be the most haunted in the U.S. The hotel in question is known as the Biltmore Hotel, which is located over in Providence, Rhode Island, and its history is lingered with paranormal activity from seeing objects move on their own to hearing laughter from parties that can't be found. Former guests of the hotel have encountered things that they couldn't explain. And just like those who've stayed here before, Jack Steffens encounters something beyond explanation. Late one evening, Jack is lying in bed inside his hotel room when all of a sudden the bathroom door inside the room shuts itself forcefully. A few minutes pass and the door opens all on its own, but then closes again immediately. Terrified by this incident, Jack proceeds to grab his camera and record the following. This is what he captured.
Alright, you can see that the bathroom is down there at the end of the hallway. The bathroom door is the one that has been slamming itself by apparently unseen forces. I'm going to stand here for a couple minutes. If it happens again, then I'm going to catch it on video. If it doesn't happen again, then I'm going to set my camera down and try to just let it sit there and wait and catch it when it happens. Did you see that? It just did it again. I cannot believe I got that on video. I cannot believe I got that. There is nobody in this room except for me. That is the freakiest thing ever. There's nobody back here.
The door suddenly closes on its own, as though someone has slammed it hard. Based on this recording, we can tell that Jack was left baffled. Now, if Jack hadn't recorded the inside of the bathroom, the authenticity of this video might have been called into question. It could have been that someone was hiding inside and waiting to close the door at the right time. However, as Jack shows us, no one is inside the bathroom. Given the history of this hotel, it seems that something unexplainable was caught on camera. But of course, I'll pass the judgment on over to you. Did something paranormal occur in Jack's room? Or is there a possible explanation? This next video comes from Nathan Hughes, who not only enjoys being an actor and a photographer, but also a dog owner. One day, while sitting at home, Nathan notices one of his dogs acting strange. Molly, who was resting on the couch, began to tremble as though she were seeing something incredibly frightening. Being a lover of dogs, he was deeply unsettled by Molly's behavior. If only he had known what she was seeing. This is the video he took.
Molly, do you want a biscuit? Molly? What's wrong? What's wrong? What are you looking at? What is it? Molly? What is it? Are you okay? What is it? eat your biscuit? No? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Why would you eat your biscuit? It's okay. There's your biscuit, look.
She appears to be seeing something that Nathan can't. Unlike most dogs that either growl or bark at something that doesn't appear to be there, Molly trembles in fear. As one viewer had commented, just imagine what that spirit looks like for her to be trembling like that. Although we can't be certain if it's something paranormal, there's no denying that Molly's reaction is very unsettling. Now, it could be that the case that she's having a seizure, but according to a viewer, if that were so, then she wouldn't be responding to Nathan's voice. In the video, we can see her looking back and forth when being spoken to, suggesting that she's able to respond, which is often impossible for any animal having a seizure to do. So then what exactly is causing her to react this way? As with most videos, this one remains a mystery.